The vast emptiness of space near Jupiter's orbit was broken by two ships facing each other. One was the Earth vessel Horizon sleek and blue-white. The other was the alien ship, bronze and curved like the shell of some cosmic creature. Captain Thomas Reed stood on the bridge of the Horizon, his heart beating fast. After years of searching the stars, humans had finally found intelligent life. "Open communications," he ordered, straightening his uniform. The main screen flickered to life. The beings that appeared were not what anyone expected. They had scales that shimmered with colors that changed as they moved. Their eyes were large and golden, with vertical pupils like a cat's. These were the Valari. "Greetings from Earth," Captain Reed said, his lips pulling back to reveal his teeth in what humans call a smile. "We come in peace and friendship." The Valari on the screen tilted their heads in unison. They did not smile back. Instead, their scales rippled with blue and green colors. "We are the Valari," the lead alien said in a voice that sounded like gentle wind. "We receive your greeting, humans of Earth." What the humans didn't know was that the Valari were empaths. They could feel the emotions of others across space. Right now, they were feeling many things from the humans: excitement, nervousness, curiosity, and a touch of fear. But the human captain was showing his teeth, which on most worlds meant aggression. Krell, the Valari ambassador, felt confused. The human's mouth said threat, but his emotions said friendly. This was new to them. Over the next few days, the two ships remained close while their crews began to learn about each other. Humans showed the Valari their music, art, and food. The Valari shared their star maps and stories of other alien races they had met. Krell watched the humans closely. They kept making that teeth-showing expression. "Captain Reed," Krell asked during their fourth meeting, "why do your people bare their teeth when you are not angry?" Reed laughed, which made his smile even wider. "You mean smiling. It's how we show we're happy or being friendly." Krell's scales turned a puzzled purple. "But on our world and many others, showing teeth is a warning before an attack." "Not for us," Reed explained. "For humans, a smile can mean many things, but mostly good things." Krell was not convinced. As an empath, he could feel that human emotions were complex. Sometimes when humans smiled, they felt happy. But other times, they smiled when they felt sad, worried, or even angry. Why would a species hide their true feelings this way? The Valari Council decided that humans were worth studying more. They were different from any species they had met in their travels across the galaxy. "Your people may join the Galactic Assembly as probationary members," Krell told Reed on their final day together. "We will send representatives to Earth, and you may send yours to our central hub." Reed smiled broadly and extended his hand for a shake. "This is the beginning of a great friendship between our peoples." As they touched hands, Krell felt a wave of genuine warmth from the human. Yet there was something else too, a determination, an ambition that ran deep in these humans. "Yes," Krell said, his scales now a thoughtful blue-green. "A beginning indeed." As the ships prepared to part ways, Krell made a personal decision. He would study these humans and their mysterious smiles. There was more to this expression than simple friendship, and for the good of the assembly, he needed to understand what it truly meant. Little did either species know that this simple facial expression would one day change the balance of power in the entire galaxy. The Galactic Assembly Central Hub was a massive ring-shaped station that orbited a blue star. Ships of all shapes and sizes docked there, bringing representatives from hundreds of worlds. Today, a new ship arrived, the human diplomatic vessel Unity. Ambassador Alex Morgan led the human team down the ramp. She was tall with short gray hair and wore a blue uniform with Earth's symbol on the chest. As she stepped onto assembly ground for the first time, she smiled at the waiting aliens. Krell watched from the greeting party. He had been studying human expressions for 3 months now. The smile on the ambassador's face was what he called a diplomatic smile. It was polite but not truly happy. He could feel her mix of pride, tiredness from the journey, and a hidden nervousness. "Welcome to the assembly, Ambassador Morgan," Krell said, his scales shifting to a formal purple-gold pattern. "We are honored by Earth's presence." "The honor is ours," Morgan replied, her smile changing slightly. Now it showed more teeth. What Krell had learned was an eager smile. As the human delegation toured the station, other alien species watched them with curiosity. The Borlans, with their 4 eyes, stared at the humans' expressive faces. The meek, tiny beings with silver skin hid behind pillars when humans smile at them. "They keep showing their teeth," a Borlan diplomat whispered to Krell. "Are they threatening us?" "No," Krell explained. "It is their way of being friendly. But I have noticed that their smiles change depending on what they are feeling inside." At the welcome dinner, Krell sat beside Morgan. He watched as she smiled differently at each person she met. A warm smile for the assembly leader, a small tight smile for the Drovik representative, who came from a warrior race known for their aggression. "Ambassador," Krell said quietly, "I have been studying your species' expressions. You have many different smiles." Morgan looked surprised, then laughed. "I never thought about it that way, but you're right. We smile when we're happy, but also when we're being polite or nervous, or sometimes even when we're sad." "Why hide your true feelings?" Krell asked. Morgan thought for a moment. "We don't see it as hiding. It's more like smoothing the way for better communication. Sometimes showing what you really feel would make things harder." Later that evening, a minor incident occurred during a Valari ceremony. Each species was invited to share a moment of quiet respect for the Assembly's founding principles. When the solemn music ended, a human aide smiled, not knowing that the ceremony required complete seriousness until the Valari leader spoke. The room grew tense. Several Valari scales turned angry red. Morgan quickly apologized. "Please forgive us. On Earth, we sometimes smile to show respect. We meant no offense." The explanation was accepted, but whispers spread through the assembly that night. "Did you see how they smile even during sacred moments? Their faces say one thing, but the Valari empaths feel something different from them. Can we truly trust a species that hides behind teeth?" In his quarters, Krell recorded his observations for the day. Humans use smiling as a social tool. They show teeth to connect, to ease tension, to hide discomfort. But some assembly members find this disturbing. There is more to learn about these complex beings and their contradictory expressions. What concerned him most was a moment he hadn't mentioned to anyone. When the Drovik representative had glared at Morgan across the dinner table, she had smiled back. But it was no friendly smile. It was small, cold, and her eyes had hardened like stones. Her emotions in that moment had felt like a predator watching prey. That smile was something new, something that needed further study. 3 weeks into the human stay at the Galactic Assembly, a problem arose. The Drovik, a species with tough gray skin and bony ridges on their heads, demanded exclusive mining rights to an asteroid belt near human space. The assembly called for a special meeting. Representatives from 26 species gathered in the Great Circular Chamber. The Drovik representative, General Vrock, stood at the center. "These resources belong to the Drovik Empire by right of discovery," Vrock declared. His voice was deep and rough. "Humans are newcomers. They have no claim." Ambassador Morgan stepped forward. Her face was calm, but Krell, watching from his seat, could feel the anger building inside her. "The asteroid belt is closer to Earth colonies than to any Drovak world," she said. "We propose a fair sharing arrangement that benefits both our peoples." General Vrock's ridged spines rose in a sign of aggression. "We do not share. Accept our claim, or we will place sanctions on all human trade in this sector." The room grew tense. All eyes turned to Morgan, waiting for her response. She smiled. It was not the warm smile she had used when first meeting the assembly leaders. It was not the polite smile of diplomatic functions. This smile was small and tight. Her lips curved upward, but her eyes remained cold and steady. Krell felt a chill. The emotions coming from Morgan were not friendly at all. He sensed calculation, determination, and something else, something predatory that reminded him of the hunting beasts on his home world. "General Vrock," Morgan said, her smile not wavering, "Earth has great respect for the Drovek, but you should know that humans do not respond well to threats." The Drovek, unable to read human expressions well, saw only the smile. "You find this amusing. You smile at a serious matter." Morgan's smile remained fixed. Not at all. On Earth, sometimes a smile can be a warning. The room broke into confused murmurs. Several species looked to the Valari for explanation, knowing of their empathic abilities. Krell rose from his seat. "I believe there is a cultural misunderstanding. General Vrock, humans sometimes smile in situations that are not happy ones." "Then why show teeth?" Vrock demanded. "It is deception. It is not meant to deceive," Krell tried to explain. "It is their way." But the damage was done. The Drovek delegation stormed out, their ridged spines fully extended in anger. Later, Krell visited Morgan in the human quarters. "Your smile today troubled many in the assembly," he said. "I felt what was behind it. Not friendship." Morgan looked at him steadily. "In our history, Krell, a smile has many meanings. Sometimes it is a signal that we are reaching our limits of patience. A warning." "Then," Krell said, "like an animal showing teeth before it attacks." Morgan's expression softened. "We're not planning to attack anyone. But yes, sometimes a smile can mean proceed with caution." Krell's scales turned a thoughtful blue. "The Drovek do not understand such nuance. They see only deception. That's their problem," Morgan said. "Not ours." That night, Krell sent an urgent message to the Valari High Council. Humans use the same expression, this smile, for both friendship and mourning. When they smile without joy, other species may misinterpret their intentions. This creates danger. The Council's reply was quick. "Learn more. Humans gain influence daily. If their expressions hide their true intent, all species must know." Across the assembly, the first seed of fear about humans began to grow. Species whispered to each other. They smile when they threaten. What else do they hide? The misunderstanding had begun, and it would only deepen in the days to come. After the incident with the Drovek, Krell received special permission from the Valari High Council to study humans more deeply. He was given access to Earth's public historical records and began his research in earnest. In his private study room on the assembly station, Krell sat surrounded by floating screens. Each one showed different images of humans throughout their history. There were smiling faces everywhere, but the contexts troubled him. One screen showed ancient warriors smiling as they stood over fallen enemies. Another displayed political leaders from Earth's past, smiling while delivering speeches that led to wars. A third showed what humans called poker faces, expressionless, except for small, knowing smiles that hid their true thoughts during games of strategy. "Computer, show me Earth predators," Krell commanded. The screens changed to display wolves, lions, and other carnivores. Krell leaned forward, his scales darkening with concentration. Many of Earth's predators pulled back their lips to show teeth before attacking. The similarity to a human smile was striking. "So it began as a threat display," he muttered to himself, "yet evolved into a social signal as well." For days, Krell hardly left his study. He analyzed thousands of human expressions, categorizing different types of smiles. Joy smiles that reached the eyes, fake smiles that didn't, threatening smiles, nervous smiles, sad smiles. When he finally emerged, he requested an emergency meeting with the Valari representatives at the assembly. "Humans are more complex than we realized," he told the gathered Valari, their scales shifting colors with their changing emotions. Their smile evolved from a threat display into a social tool. They show teeth to bond with friends, but also to warn enemies. Elder Trill, the head of the Valari delegation, flashed worried purple. Are they consciously deceiving other species? No, Krell said. To them, it is natural. They often smile without thinking. But this creates a problem for us and other assembly members who cannot read the emotional truth behind the expression. What of Ambassador Morgan's smile to the Drovek? Another Valari asked. A warning display, Krell confirmed. Humans bare teeth to show they are prepared to fight if needed. The Drovak saw only the bared teeth but missed the threat beneath. The Valari Council decided that all assembly species should be quietly informed about human expressions. Meanwhile, Krell would continue his research. What concerned the Valari most was how quickly humans were gaining influence in the assembly. Their diplomatic team moved easily among the different species. They made allies, negotiated trade deals, and offered technological exchanges. And everywhere they went, they smiled. Most species found humans charming and friendly. The Borlands had already signed a defense treaty with Earth. The meek, once frightened of human teeth, now traded rare minerals with human merchants. Only the Drovak remained hostile, and their protests about human deception were mostly ignored. In his final report to the Council, Krell wrote, "Humans use their expressions as tools. A smile can show joy, ease tension, or serve as the final warning before conflict. This adaptability makes them dangerous, but also valuable allies. We must proceed with caution, but not fear." But even as he wrote these words, news came that the Drovak had grown more aggressive in their demands. They had moved warships to the edges of human territory, claiming they were only protecting their interests. Ambassador Morgan responded to this news with the same small, cold smile that had worried Krell weeks before. When asked about the Drovek ships, she simply said, "We hope for peace, but we are prepared for other outcomes." The Valari knew then that something was coming, something that would reveal the true meaning of a human smile to the entire assembly. The assembly's peace was shattered early one morning when emergency alarms blared throughout the station. Representatives hurried to the main chamber, faces grim or fearful depending on their species. Krell arrived to find the chamber in chaos. Delegates shouted over each other. The assembly leader, a tall blue being called Mentor, struggled to restore order. Silence. Mentor finally commanded, voice amplified. "We will hear the facts before we debate." On the main view screen appeared the image of a small moon, or what had been a moon. Now half of it was destroyed, with debris floating in space. Around it, several ships fired at each other. 3 hours ago, Mentor explained, Drovak warships attacked the human mining colony on Luna 5. 87 humans and 15 meek workers are confirmed dead. Human defense forces have engaged the attackers. The room erupted again. The meek representative wailed in their high-pitched voice. The Borland delegate demanded immediate sanctions against the Drovek. Krell watched as Commander James Wilson, the human military representative, entered the chamber. Unlike Ambassador Morgan, who had been called back to Earth for emergency consultations, Wilson was a soldier, tall, with a weathered face and direct gaze. The Drovek representative, not General Vrock, but a lower official, stepped forward. "This was a misunderstanding. We received reports of illegal weapons being developed on Luna 5. Commander Wilson said nothing. He simply walked to the center of the chamber, looked at the Drovek representative, and smiled. Krell felt a chill run through his scales. The emotions coming from Wilson were like nothing he had felt from a human before. There was cold rage, focused and sharp. There was grief for the lost colonists. And beneath it all, there was something ancient and predatory, the feeling of a hunter that has found its prey. Yet Wilson's smile was calm and controlled, just a small lifting of the lips. The Drovek Empire has committed an act of war against Earth and its allies, Wilson finally said, his voice quiet but carrying to every corner of the chamber. We requested peace. We offered compromise. Now you will see what happens when humans are pushed too far. The Drovek representatives' ridged spines flattened in fear. You threaten us before the entire assembly. We have twice your fleet size. Wilson's smile didn't waver. That's not a threat. It's a promise. The assembly erupted into panic. Several species called for emergency mediation. Others demanded both sides stand down. Krell pushed through the crowd to reach Wilson. Commander, please, there are diplomatic solutions still available. Wilson turned to Krell, his smile fading. Ambassador Morgan tried diplomacy. This is now a military matter. As Wilson turned to leave, Krell addressed the still chaotic chamber. Listen to me. All of you have misunderstood what just happened. When humans smile as Commander Wilson did, it is not friendly. It is their most dangerous expression. But it was too late. Wilson was gone, and with him, any chance of preventing what was to come. That night, Krell sent an urgent message to all assembly species. When humans smile without joy, they are at their most dangerous. They are showing you that they are ready for conflict. It is a warning that predators give before they strike. As his message went out, human warships were already on the move, heading for Drovek space. The crews on those ships moved with quiet efficiency, and many of them, as they prepared their weapons, wore the same small, cold smile as Commander Wilson. The assembly was about to learn what that smile truly meant. The assembly gathered again 3 days later. This time, there was no shouting, no chaos. Everyone sat in stunned silence, watching the main view screen. It showed the aftermath of what humans had done. The Drovak attack force, 15 warships, including their feared dreadnought Stone Fist had been decimated. Only 3 damaged ships remained, limping back to Drovek space. The human fleet had lost just 2 small vessels. How is this possible? The meek representative whispered. The Drovek military was considered one of the strongest in the assembly. No one answered. They were all watching the recorded transmissions from the battle, which the humans had released to the assembly. On screen, human captains gave orders with calm efficiency. Many of them smiled as they commanded their ships through complex maneuvers. Not wild, angry smiles, just small, focused expressions that never reached their eyes. Target their engines, one human captain said, smiling slightly. Let's show them what Earth can do. Krell stood at the center of the chamber. Now you all understand what I have been trying to tell you. The human smile is not just a sign of friendship. It is also their war face. He gestured to the screen. Humans evolved from predators who hunted in groups. When they prepare to fight, they often smile. It shows confidence. It shows readiness. And for their enemies, it is the last warning they will receive. The assembly leader, Mentor, looked troubled. Why would an expression of joy also be used in war? Because humans are complex, Krell explained. Their smile evolved for many purposes: to bond with their group, to ease tension within their tribe, but also to display confidence against enemies. He pointed to the battle footage, now showing the human officer smiling as she fired weapons that tore through a Drovek ship. That smile does not mean she enjoys killing. It means she is focused, confident, and determined. Humans smile when they hunt. It is part of their nature. The assembly fell into worried discussion. If they had misunderstood something as basic as a smile, what else had they missed about these newcomers? The Borland representative spoke up. The humans warned the Drovek. Many times, their smiles were telling us something we did not understand. Yes, said Krell. When Ambassador Morgan smiled at General Vrock during the mining dispute, she was warning him. When Commander Wilson smiled before leaving the chamber, he was telling us what would happen. We did not listen. The view screen changed to show a new transmission. It was from the human flagship. Commander Wilson appeared, his uniform neat despite signs of battle around him. The Drovek Empire has attacked Earth citizens without provocation, he said. We have responded accordingly. Their remaining forces have retreated. Earth does not seek further conflict, but we will defend ourselves and our allies without hesitation. He paused, then added, with the same small smile that had chilled the assembly days before, we hope the Drovek choose peace going forward. for their sake. The transmission ended, leaving the chamber in silence. They defeated the Drovak with a fraction of their fleet, the assembly leader finally said. And now they offer peace instead of pursuing total victory. Krell nodded. Because humans are not just predators. They are builders too. They want to be part of the assembly, not destroy it. As the session ended, representatives hurried away, many sending urgent messages to their homeworlds. The galaxy's understanding of humans had changed forever. That night, a new saying began to spread through the assembly. Fear not the frowning human, but watch carefully the one who smiles. 2 weeks after the battle, the great assembly chamber was filled once again. This time, for peace talks. The Drovak Empire had sent their highest diplomat. Not a warrior like General Vrock, but a seasoned negotiator named Thal. He sat stiffly at one side of the circular table, his ridged spines flat against his head in a sign of submission. The doors opened, and Ambassador Morgan entered. She had returned from Earth with full authority to negotiate. As she walked to her seat, many representatives watched her face carefully, looking for any sign of a smile. There it was, a warm, genuine smile that reached her eyes. The Valari empaths in the room could feel that this smile matched her emotions. She was truly pleased to be seeking peace. Krell, now officially named Human Expression Interpreter for the Assembly, stood near the center of the room. Today we witness an historic agreement between Earth and the Drovak Empire, he announced. But more importantly, we mark a new understanding between all our species. The peace terms were simple. The Drovak would respect human territory. The disputed asteroid belt would be shared. Reparations would be paid for the Luna 5 attack. In return, humans would help rebuild the damaged Drovak fleet, not as warships, but as exploration vessels. When the terms were read, Thol looked surprised. These are generous terms. We expected harsher punishment. Ambassador Morgan shook her head. Earth doesn't seek to crush the Drovak. We want strong, proud allies, not defeated enemies. The peace treaty was signed, and the assembly erupted in relief applause. The crisis that had threatened to tear apart the galactic community had been resolved. Later, at the celebration, representatives from many species approached Krell with questions. How do we know which human smile is friendly and which is a warning? Asked the Borland diplomat. The eyes, Krell explained. A true friendly smile reaches the eyes. A warning smile stays only on the lips. But more importantly, pay attention to context and to what the human is actually saying. Across the room, Ambassador Morgan was speaking with the assembly leader. Earth is honored to accept full membership in the assembly, she said, her smile wide and genuine. The assembly had voted unanimously to upgrade Earth from probationary status. Human complexity, once feared, was now seen as valuable. Their ability to be both fierce warriors and compassionate allies made them unique among assembly species. That evening, Krell found Captain Thomas Reed at the observation deck. Reed had returned to represent the Earth fleet at the peace ceremony. I hear you've become quite the expert on human smiles, Reed said, offering Krell a drink. I have tried, Krell said, his scales shifting to a friendly blue-green. But your expressions are remarkably complex. Reed laughed. We don't think about it much. It's just natural to us. Can you teach me? Krell asked suddenly. How to smile like a human. Reed looked surprised, then pleased. I can try. It's all about the muscles here, he said, pointing to his face. But more importantly, it's about what you feel inside when you do it. Krell attempted to move his reptilian mouth into a smile shape. The result looked strange, but Reed nodded encouragingly. Not bad for a first try. It's all about context, Reed explained. A smile can mean, I'm happy to see you, or be careful, I'm at my limit. The key is understanding when to use which one. As they looked out at the stars, Krell thought about how far they had all come. From first contact to war, and now to true peace, all because they had finally understood something as simple and as complex as a human smile. I think, Krell said slowly, trying his new smile again. That I am beginning to understand. Reed smiled back, a genuine smile of friendship. That's all anyone can ask for.